In this lesson, we will be creating a stock advance operation. I have staged the part to process the part in two segments. I have completed the operations for the first segment, and we are ready to create the stock advance. So in the part handling ops, I will select the stock advance operation. And the first thing I'm going to do is go into toolpath parameters, and I'll put a comment in. And I'm going to select this bump tool. This bump tool was created specifically for being used as a stop tool in the stock advance operation. Next, I'll go into my lathe stock advance tab, and I only have one option because I only have one set of chuck jaws set up on the left side. And I'm going to go ahead and transfer my geometry. So I'll select, and I've got my solid model on, and I have the 2D profile in the background. So I'll select both of those, and I want to offset by 100, and I am going to blank the original geometry, and we'll see what that does by selecting this. The original position is at 0, and we need to tell it how far we want to move it. So I'll go ahead and select. Now at this point I need to know how far I'm going to move it, and there's a variety of ways to determine that, but I've decided I want to move this 3 inches. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key. I'm going to select the origin. I'm going to start to drag this a little bit, and I'll go 3 inches. So there's our 3 inches, and that's how far it's going to move. As far as tool positioning goes, I have 3 different options here. We'll go ahead and create the first one with push stock. So let's do that and see what this looks like. Okay, so I'll go to Tool Pass, and you can see that our stock has advanced. And if I use our red arrow here, we can go back and forth between after the stock advance and before the stock advance. So there's our blanked geometry. You'll notice the geometry before the stock advance operation, and then after it, it blanks the original geometry and activates the geometry that we transferred. Let's go back into this and take a look at some other options here. So I do have pull stock. I don't have a tool set up for this. It's going to be very similar to how the use tool stop works. So I'll go back to push stock and then use tool stop. So in this case, I've got a stock clearance amount, which is just what it looks like, and we'll see that. And I have a tool X position. I'm going to make this minus 1.5. I'll green check out, and you can see that our operation needs to be regenerated and our stock has advanced. I'll go ahead and regenerate, and I want to backplot this tool path and see what it looks like. So you can see now that in this case, Backplot doesn't know what to do with the blanked geometry, so we're coming down to where our original geometry was. It will move forwards to 0. We won't see that here unless we go in and do Interpolate inside here. And then it moves back to our spot. So what we might be able to do is if we come into levels, and turn off all our geometry. Now let's go back and try Backplot now. So you see in this case our stock has moved back. We'll go to our first position. I hit the S key. Now we're not going to see this little movement here, but you will notice that the blue feed line does go forwards and then backwards. It comes up to the 0 and then it moves back. So there is our stock advance use tool stop method. The other thing we could do, rather than blank the original geometry, is we could create some view sheets. So that's another way to manage the geometry inside of here.